Oh, good day again. Excuse me. Having a smoke. Yeah, this was a seriously bad idea. This is what I get for following the advice of Ford owners on Facebook. I just drop the front end and it'll be easy. Yeah. Should have taken the bloody motor out. That would have been the easier. You know, I mean, this might be easy if you're up on a hoist or something, or you like crawling around in grease on your back. I did manage to drop it down further, and so I had to take the engine mounts right off completely because the angle of the bolts was stopping it from dropping down, but it only come down another ½ inch. Still didn't make that much of a difference. So then I undone the strut towers. That basically brought it right down to ground level. But then I got the new gasket. I got it out of the packet. And I realised something. This is where it fits against the block. You got these two little pins. They fit into two little holes on either side of the bearing holders on the crank, and they don't clip into anything on the sump. So you got buckleys of putting it on the sump and pushing it up into place. And this has to go on the engine first, and then the sump put on afterwards. And it's actually quite heavy. It appears to be metal reinforced, and you can see here, I still haven't finished cleaning that. I was trying to do it with a subframe on the ground, getting grease and shit all over it, just testing it to see how it fits. Especially if you're going to put sealant and stuff on it, it's got to be clean. It's just not going to stick. So yeah, I do have some sealant, so hopefully it's sticky enough to hold it in place long enough to get the sump in there. So I'll get to try that. But yeah, as I said, should have just taken the motor out, turned upside down, and been done with it. What I will show you, I managed to get under there and clean it all. Cleaned it with the greaser, but it was still greasy. Like, cleaned the oil off, but it wasn't clean enough to apply sealant to. And the other thing I found is that the oil pickup was all clogged up with carbon. So I've taken that off, cleaned it all out, blown it out with air, and put a new gasket under that, which meant scraping all the old gasket off, and it was really hard. And I normally clean gaskets with a wood chisel, but yeah, it was going to gouge it. So I ended up having to do it with a trimming knife blade very carefully. And then I'll put it back on and put a bit of Loctite on the bolts. This is rather important because this is not pumping oil. Like, if it was pumping oil and leaked a little bit out into the sump, it wouldn't matter, but this is sucking it up. So if that doesn't seal, it'll just suck air in instead of sucking the oil up. And the reason why I Loctited these bolts too is, if it comes loose and comes off, you blow your motor up. It's that simple. And also when you're cleaning the gasket off, plug the hole. You don't want anything going into your oil pump. But places on these, get up to here without power steering fluid dripping all over me. That was another thing I didn't want to let go. Now I've got to buy more power steering fluid. Yeah, you can see the slots here. This is where your rubber gasket fits into. And that's a place where you want silicone or sealant of some kind. You also want to seal it on this joint here. So there's a little bit of a gap there. It's enough to put your fingernail in, which is enough for oil leak to leak out of. So you want to put sealant on those 4 places there, and there's and 2 at the back. And Yeah, as I said, I'm yet to see if yeah, the sealant's going to be sticky enough to hold it in place long enough. So, yeah, should have just taken a motor out. This has been an absolute pain, you know. I dropped it down, it was still in the way so much. I had to pull it out, and I had to pull one of the strut towers out. And then, then manoeuvre it around, pull the arm around so it cleared the guard enough to pull it out the front, get it out of the way. That was one of the other things that had to be disconnected, was the steering column. Also to get, to take the mounts off. I said the mounts dropped down, but the angle of the bolt, it was still hanging on the end of the bolt, even though I'd undone the main engine mount bolt. So I had to take the mounts right off the block and get them out of the way, which also meant, undoing this thing. So probably better down. I don't know. Either way, it's going to get in the way. I might take it right off as well. But yeah. Anyway, I've got skin off my head. I've crushed my finger. I've got fucking grease all over me. Sorry about the swearing, but I'm really pissed off at the moment. I'm pissed off that I attempted to do this in the first place, you know. I said I should have just pulled the motor out. Anyway, this is one of the worst ideas I've ever had. Like I said, it wasn't even my idea. This is what was suggested to me by other Ford owners. And it was a bad idea right from the beginning. So, yeah. Here's something, if you're going to make gaskets, like I make my own gaskets, just buy gasket paper for most things. And get yourself a set of hole punches. Just put them on a block of wood, preferably hardwood. And a few bolt holes and things. Anyway, I'll finish it there. And if you're going to attempt this job, take the motor out. This is, one of the worst things I've ever done on a car. Seriously. Okay, bye.